All right, I'm back, and we got ourselves some Untitled art, and this one's the double chocolate fudgy brownie stout, sounding quite decadent, and we are going to crack into this right now. 12 ounces, 11.7 ABV, you can see right there, and they give the artist credit as well. Somewhat simplistic art, but you know, nothing wrong with that. Fits the theme here, and I don't think we're gonna get much else. Imperial stout with cocoa nibs, vanilla beans, and milk sugar. So this is gonna be some decadent shit. Let's go ahead and crack it, and let's take a sip. Cheers. Oh hell yes. So this one's sweet. It's fucking bold. It's bold and banging, that's for sure. You definitely get that fudgy brownie characteristic. Lots of chocolate, just very, very almost realistic chocolate character there. Brownie character. And it has just a slight bit of nuttiness as well, kind of like on the finish, and that is appreciated. I do like that. It doesn't mention, you know, the addition of any nuts or anything like that, but it is kind of like a realistic brownie character and then like a nutty finish. It's really, really nice. But just one that you gotta kind of sip, let it warm up, and just really enjoy the rich, decadent flavors slowly. So, cheers. All right, we are going to be using Noble Otter's Thé Noir Vanille right here, an old favorite of mine. Noir Vanille used to be my favorite soap in my whole collection. This is the original Noble Otter soap base as far as I am concerned, or as far as I'm aware. Notes of bergamot, loose black tea, jasmine, strawberry, and vanilla, and in my opinion, this is still one of the all-time greats in the whole of wet shaving. You can see the formula right there. A little bit of additional information. Beautiful side label and top label. This one doesn't have the kind of like the gold reflective tints that some of his newer offerings do, but when I finally polish this off, it is one that I will be sure to replace. You can bet on that. All right, so we already got it lathered up. We got a beautiful, luxurious, creamy looking lather right there. And this is lathered up in my Thirsty Badger shave bowl. Beautiful product out of Canada. I love that thing. And then we got our old TDR, That Darn Rob, which is now chisel&hound, but this is the bird's eye maple with a cream ivory top. Very beautiful handle if you're a fan of natural wood and stuff like that. Beautiful. Then we got the AP Shave Co. SynBad synthetic knot on top, and it is just chock full with beautiful looking lather. So let's get into this. Oh, I had a long weekend up in the mountains. This is the second weekend in a row that we have been setting up our deer camp for late season, and since we have as a group amassed a lot of camping gear, our camp has gotten more and more elaborate, and quite honestly it's getting pretty fancy. And so we set up a wall tent, then we set up a carport, a covered carport, which we use as a kind of kitchen cooking area, but it's, you know, obviously a covered area, and we can heat the area so that we're not just cooking out in the cold. And that is a new addition this year. And then we kind of bridge the gap between the carport and the wall tent with a tarp and whatnot, so that there's kind of some space in between the two. That's also covered that we can kind of utilize for a little bit of storage. And then the wall tent itself is fucking huge. We can fit like 6 cots with a walking space in between them. And then it has the wood stove that works like a fucking charm. The only downside is that it kind of goes from being really hot, and then eventually, you know, when the fire burns down, somebody has to reload it. So there is that, but ultimately we're warm in the winter. And so this weekend when we were up there, it got as low as 25 degrees, and hardly even, or actually you couldn't notice at all that it was 25 degrees outside from the inside of the wall tent, because it was scorching hot when you would reload the fire, reload the wood. And so at one point it got so hot, my father actually unzipped the front door and let some of the heat out. That's how fucking bad it was that we had to kind of purge some of the heat. So it definitely does its job, and things are getting a little bit fancier around camp, but that's all right. There's a lot of us there, and we're all pitching in, and it's kind of a fun little project every year to just kind of set up. And we got the whole week's worth of wood already cut and quartered. And so this upcoming week after Thanksgiving, I'm gonna be up in the mountains and taking my crack at a successful hunt. Sorry, I haven't talked too much about the shave as of yet, but this is a familiar shaving soap to the channel. All the products on this one I've used before, so nothing new really. Gonna be using my my vintage Kukri blade right here, if you can see that. Beautiful intricate design on the spine there. And then the scales were actually done by Osiris Blade Works. And although he didn't give me any choice in the scales, and that was kind of a point of contention for me, they are good looking scales. So there is that. Okay, let's get into it. This was actually my first ever straight razor. Many of you that have watched the channel for a long time probably know this story, but I bought it as just a blade, so there was no scales on it. You know, I'm quite picky in my tastes, and I was just looking for a blade that called out to me, and that vintage intricate design that was on the spine of the blade really did call out to me. And so I bought it standalone, and then I was tasked with finding someone to make me some scales, which turned out to be a little bit harder than I thought it was gonna be. Apparently, razor makers want to kind of do the full project from beginning to the end. And then some people, they don't want to let you kind of use certain materials, or they don't stock what you want. And so it turned out to be just a little bit harder than I originally thought it was going to be. But I am happy with the finished product here. I think it's a very good looking razor, that's for sure. I just, there was definitely some issues along the way. And this is, I think this is 2 days growth, maybe 3 or 2 and some change. So there's a lot of growth to mow down here. And if I was thinking a little bit more ahead, I would remember that I've never had this one honed, and it's starting to show signs of that. Just doesn't feel quite as smooth as it once was. Osiris was the one who honed this for me, so I bought the blade standalone from Silverloaf Customs. He stocks some vintage stuff that he restores. So I bought the blade standalone from Silverloaf, and then the Osiris guy, he did the scales for me. Took longer than he projected and kind of took advantage of my patience. And then just kind of went rogue when it came to picking the scales. I told him what I had in mind, and I told him, you know, I'd like to see some options that he had available. And what I got instead was a finished product that I had no say in, and it took twice as long as they said he was gonna, and no offer to make things right. So, you know, safe to say I wasn't pleased with the whole process, but the razor does look good, and you know, just being the guy I am, like, I don't want to hurt an artisan like that, so I just kind of moved on. But it really did irritate the hell out of me at the time. That is a fact. Let's go ahead and incorporate just another splash of water, since this has been sitting out for about 15 minutes. I had no problems with that first pass. All the slickness I'd ever need. There's plenty in the brush, plenty still in the bowl, but it definitely ain't gonna hurt anything to add a little bit extra water. The scent on this fucking thing is beautiful. As you saw in the thumbnail of the video, I do have the trifecta. So I have the soap splash and the EDP. The EDP on this one, it was his first run of EDPs, and a lot of them had bubbles under the label, and that's kind of a bummer because it's a see-through label, and I mean the bubbles just stick out like a fucking sore thumb. In my mind, it never should have went out the door like that, but maybe it's something that's not easily corrected. I don't know. A lot of these artisans, you know, they're not making big bank, and sometimes small mistakes just have to be learned from. Kind of take the hit and learn from it. But the EDP itself, I've wore many times, and it is wonderful. It's even more rich and robust than the Soap and Splash, in my opinion, as you would expect, but really beautiful stuff. All right, let's get this against the grain going here. I think what I want to do with this razor when I send it out, I already have Frank from Strike Gold Shave in mind. The dude has been an absolute blessing when it comes to straight razor advice and knowledge. He has helped me out every step along the way, and I really do thank Frank Misa for that. Owner of Strike Gold Shave, if you are unaware. But even before Strike Gold Shave, he was a straight razor honer, a wet shaving hobbyist for a very long time, and he really does know his shit when it comes to straight razors. A lot of the time, when I have my eye on a vintage purchase, I'll send him the link and get his thoughts before I go through with making the purchase. See if his expert eye can find some flaws that might be worth considering. And I think I'm going to send my straight razor to him so that he can re-hone it. Guys that have been honing that long, they have, a plethora of stones at their disposal, and they might, have their favorites, and I'm sure Frank has, his standard edge that he puts on things for honing customers without preferences, or for newbies or stuff like that. But I think I'm going to ask him if he has Belgian caudicle stones, which, I'm sure he does, because I've never felt a caudicle, and at this point it would be something new for me, and who knows, maybe I will maybe I'll find a new stone that really excites me, you know what I mean? You never know. It's kind of what I like the most about straight razor shaving and wet shaving in general, is just trying all these pieces of gear and software. It's just kind of a hunt to kind of find things that keep the excitement alive about the hobby. Fragrance really does it for me a lot of the time. The fragrance and the different soaps, that really, it does a lot for me, when it comes to my enjoyment of the hobby. But also, when I get a new razor, test it out, give my impressions on it, sometimes it becomes, your new favorite, or at least something that you really need to have in your regular rotation. And when it comes to straight razor shaving, those edges are kind of something that you can experiment with, and even they can bring new excitement to the hobby for you. All right, let me just give it a quick little wipe down. We'll set that to the side. Let's get this lather off the face, and we'll move into some post shave. That was a wonderful shave. Absolutely no problems performance-wise. Even though this is an older soap base from Noble Otter, it was good then, and it's still good now. That is a testament to live by in this hobby. If it was good then, it's still good now. Even if things have progressed and gotten better, if it was good then, it's still good now. All right. And that was a damn close shave. Maybe not BBS, but DFS. I'm gonna credit that to that razor needs to be honed, and I could have probably buffed a little bit more. But at this point, I'm DFS, and a damn fine shave is all we ever really need. So I'm not gonna push it. I'm gonna stop right there while I'm still ahead. And we'll worry about getting BBS on the next one. It's never really that big of a deal. Oh man, and we got some lather in the beard today. Okay, we'll get the rest off cam. Let's go ahead and crack open this matching aftershave splash. Whoops. There's the ingredients for you. And let's give it a good shake. Crack open the top. Appreciate the industry standard restrictor and the hair that was floating on it. This is kind of a clear brownish liquid. Oh yeah. And this aftershave has always gotten the job done for me. Really enjoyable. And that's already pretty bold and banging, to be honest. Oh yeah. Okay, guys. Woo! Let's go ahead and put the cap on that. And we're going to go ahead and just do one spray of the good old EDP right there. You can see multiple air bubbles. Top, bottom, top, top. You know, a little one there. Just, you know, it's an eyesore, you know what I mean? You want to appreciate the things, you know, the beauty of the bottle, the packaging. It's kind of an eyesore, but the juice is what matters, and we'll just give one bang right to the chest. There we go. Maybe that was two, but beautiful stuff. Very rich and beautiful scent. So, thank you guys for watching. Sorry this one went on a little bit long, but I appreciate you. So, stay tuned for that giveaway that I have going on right now. We'll be announcing that towards the end of the week before I go camping. And I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.